Hello and welcome. I'm so glad to see you've come back for the second video of Ignite Your Success. Today we're going to talk about setting your direction. And just in case this happens to be the first video you've come across, my name is Lorna Scott and I have a company called Accelerated Success Consulting. And in that business, I help people discover their purpose and rekindle their passions, get results, and learn how to intentionally create the life of their dreams. That's what I'm all about. I just love seeing people really find that special place inside of themselves and get successful. So I hope you've watched the first webinar and have spent some time working on the activity guides. I know you're going to find them chock full of value, and they will have helped you get ready for this webinar. So if you haven't yet, then please click on the link above and watch that first webinar. The information I share in it is really extremely valuable, and it's going to give you a solid foundation for what we're going to be doing in this webinar. And it just is a really good flow, and I encourage you to go back to that first webinar and get all the free value you can get. There is an activity guide for both webinars, so if you're heading over to the first one, make sure to download the activity guide so that you can go through it when you're watching that webinar. And speaking of activity guides, make sure you've downloaded the one that goes with this webinar. It really is an interactive webinar, even more so than the other one, and you're going to want to have that activity guide handy to record some of your thoughts and your inspirations. This is really about discovering yourself today. And one of the reasons that I ask you to record and make notes is that research has shown that you can retain more, that your learning really increases just with the act of writing something down. So even if that's the only time you write it down, you've already learned more than you normally would have. So there is a lot to cover today. Today is, like I said, about setting your direction. And it's going to require 100% of your attention. You won't want to miss a minute. So please turn off your phones, close everything down on your internet browser, and commit the next bit of time solely to you, to your learning, and to your success. In video 1, I talked about the key success habits of taking 100% responsibility for your life and about the power of your thoughts. These are the building blocks for the next steps. Really, how you think and the thoughts you choose to have are just key throughout the whole series, and we will come back to them over and over again in different ways. These are things that are really important for you to master. And if I do repeat something, it's because it is very important and it is fundamental, and it will lead you to create anything in your life that you want. You are taking 100% responsibility today just by showing up. So I want to congratulate you and acknowledging you for coming back for the second video and gaining even more information and learning more about yourself. Not everyone takes that step or continues with it. So thank you and congratulations. I know you want to know more about how to create the success you're looking for. And you have experienced the power of thought. And now we're going to talk about how to set that direction. And this is about getting clarity. And mistake number 2 that is often made is that people aren't clear on their vision. They really don't know what it is that they want in their life. Now, I have a favorite quote by Janet Bray Atwood, who is the co-author of the New York Times best-selling book, The Passion Test, The Effortless Path to Finding Your Life's Purpose. And what she said is, when you are clear, what you choose to show up in your life will, and only to the extent you are clear. Let me say that again. When you are clear, what you choose to show up in your life will, and only to the extent that you're clear. So what that means is that more clear you get, the more you will get what you choose to have. And it really is about choosing, and choosing to have the thoughts, choosing to be clear, and then you will see those results and they will show up in your life. And I love this quote and Janet because the passion test had a really special part in my life in helping me gain clarity and make decisions. And I really believed in it. I still believe in it so much that I include the complete process in my live events. There's just not enough time in this webinar to fit it in. I will give you some other tools and information to get you on the path to more clarity. And I encourage you to check into the passion test, and I'd be happy to take you through it at another time. Or come to one of the live events and you'll be able to go through it and experience it on your own. It is a fabulous decision-making tool, and it has changed my life, and I've seen it change many others' lives. So in today's webinar, I'll take you through some activities, and you'll start to answer the question, who am I and why am I here? And I'm going to introduce you to some things, some obstacles that may be getting in your way and what you can do to kick them out of your way. So, who am I and why am I here? Many people ask those questions. And successful people take the time to learn more about what is their purpose and then take the steps to live it. They figure out what they are here to do and they go after it with passion and drive. When people aren't clear about their purpose, they drift around in life, never feeling like what they do matters. They have no direction, and they spend a lot of time doing things they don't like, hanging out with people they don't like, and they become a person they don't like. Life seems hard, and they feel lost. They get easily sidetracked, and they accomplish very little. Sometimes they even get to the end of their life and realize that if they had done more about finding out who they really were and why they were here, they would have done more and been more happy. After transformational leader Brendon Burchard recovered from a serious accident, he said that at the end of our lives, we will ask ourselves 3 questions. Did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? If you answer yes, or you want to answer yes, you know that when it comes to the end of your life, you want to know that you've lived, and you want to know that you've loved, and you want to know that you mattered, then you're really going to want to watch these webinars, and likely more than once. I am going to show you a lot of things that are going to help you get to who you are and why you're here, and you will find that yes, you do matter. One of my favorite examples of doing things and not getting where you are meant to be is a quote from Alice in Wonderland. So Alice says to the cat, "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" "That depends a good deal on where you want to go," said the cat. "I don't much care where," said Alice. "Then it doesn't matter which way you go," said the cat. "So long as I get somewhere," Alice added as an explanation. "Oh, you're sure to do that," said the cat, "if you only walk long enough." And of course that's from the book Alice in Wonderland. People who only want to get somewhere will get there. Somewhere, sometime, doing something. Happy? Not likely. Fulfilled? Absolutely not. And think about it. If they are going somewhere but don't know where, how would they know when they arrive? Finding your purpose doesn't mean that you're limited to one career, one house, or one relationship. There are many ways you can live your purpose. What's important is that you know where you're going and have that clarity. I became a volunteer for my local Red Cross office in the fall of 2001 and was given an opportunity to apply to assist with the disaster relief effort in New York after 9/11. It was an incredible and rewarding disaster mission. During the 3 weeks I was there, in December 2001, there had been some conflict among the volunteers. Visibly shaken and choking back tears, Laura, one of the other volunteers, came up to me and said, "She thinks I'm stupid. Who does she think she is?" Laura was a retired English teacher on her first disaster assignment, feeling stressed and lost. I took her under my wing, using her English teacher editing strengths to help me write an instruction manual for the upcoming set of volunteers. On my last day there, she gave me a big bear hug and said, "I'd have never stayed if it wasn't for you." At that moment, I realized I was off course on who I was being. You see, my purpose is to creatively use my intuition to guide and empower others, to intentionally create a world of peace, hope, joy, and love. And what was happening was that I had this job waiting back home, and I really thought it was my purpose. I loved the work. The place where I worked was not at all fulfilling. I had been trying really hard to make it work, but what I had resisted and denied were the clues that I wasn't truly on course there. I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't the person I wanted to be. I had lost touch with my purpose. I was unhappy, felt bullied, and dreaded going to work, feeling physically ill at times. Clear clues I was off course. Sometimes we think that we are living our purpose because of what we do. It's crucial to pay attention to who we are being. After returning home, I made the important and critical decision I would live more on purpose, and within 6 weeks, I was hired to supervise over 10 home visitors who supported young families. It was an organization with new growth, and I fully used my creativity and intuition to help the home visitors, who in turn helped their families, learn to intentionally create a world of peace, hope, joy, and love. That is the person I wanted to become. When you are on purpose, life is easy. Take a moment and think about a time in your life when it seemed easy. What is the best job you ever had? A job that was easy, that you had fun. What are some of the best relationships? They could be romantic with a spouse, a girlfriend, or a boyfriend, maybe with your family, or did you have a relationship with a special coworker? And what made them the best? The answers to these questions are your clues. When you are in alignment with what your purpose is, you feel joyful. You feel excited about what you are doing, and best of all, you feel alive, really alive. When you are living on purpose, you are also helping your community and your family because you are doing what you are meant to be doing. Living your purpose, it's what you were put here on earth to do. People often think that finding your purpose takes years to figure out. Life is full of learning about yourself. That is so true. There are some ways you can get closer to finding your purpose if you haven't already figured it out. That is one of the things you will start today on this webinar. You're going to finish the statement, "My life purpose is," and it will give you an idea of who it is you want to become. There are many ways to discover what your life purpose is and what makes your heart sing. I mentioned the passion test, and you can journal about what you like to do. Who would you be if money and time were no objects? And there are meditations and visualizations to help you quiet your mind and go deep inside to get in touch with those feelings of being alive with your life purpose. Once you know your life purpose, you can organize all your activities around it. You will create a life full of joy, excitement, inner peace, calm, compassion, and love. These are the clues to your life purpose. And in amongst all these things that are your life purpose, there is one that stands out from the rest. And it's one of the easiest clues to pick up about when you're in alignment with who you were meant to be. And it is joy. So what I ask you is that you pay attention to what makes you feel joyful, and you get in touch with that feeling is, because that's kind of your measuring stick. Whenever you start to go off course or something doesn't seem right, see if you've got that feeling of joy. So one of the first things that I would like you to do, and it's just on page 1 in your handout, is to create a joy list. And there's a couple of reasons for doing the joy list. One is to be able to have the clues and be able to measure when your life is on purpose, because you will feel more joyful. The other thing is that it's handy to have this list ready when you're not feeling joyful, when there is some stress in your life and you want to get back to that feeling of joy. And the reason you want to be back to that feeling of joy is because it brings that calm and peace with it, and it will attract to you more things to be joyful for. So I want you to think, what you got in your activity guide is a list, and coming up with 20 to 25 things that may bring you joy would be wonderful. It will remind you what brings you joy when you maybe can't think of that right away in a time of stress. And I'll give you some time to jot down a few things. We won't have time in the webinar today to give you the whole time for the list. So, but here are some of the things that I had on my list. Playing cards. And for me, the joy in playing cards would be to be with other people. Some people it might be to play solitaire, and that's fine as long as that is bringing joy and not taking you away from it. Having one glass of favorite wine, sitting in nature, going to a park, listening to music, play a game, look up positive things on the internet. That's one of my favorites. I look for jokes. When I haven't laughed enough, I'll see if I can find some comedy things to help make me laugh. Read a book, scrapbook, have a nap. Yeah, sometimes that just might be a joy list, is to get some extra rest. Spending time with your pet, sitting in the sunshine, meditation, relaxed time, playing a musical instrument, and okay, some of these aren't mine. I just put them on the list to help spark your imagination. Painting, pottery, and visual art, and singing. Now, these are things that you love to do, and lots of people love to dance to music. I don't think I have danced, but it's anything that you really are feeling joyful and gives you that sense of peace and calm when you're in joy. So the other thing to think about then is who you like to connect with people. So on the joy list, it could be after hours get together with coworkers, or family or friends, clubs, organizations you're involved with, family, sister, brother, cousin, parents, children. Put down names and phone numbers, because if you need a pick-me-up sometimes, it's easier to do it if the name and number are right there and on the list. You don't have to think about, oh, who did I think I was going to phone? This person, they'll be able to pick me up in 10 minutes. It'll be good. So if you have the list ready, it'll really help you. And so I want you to spend a few moments thinking about this. And I really encourage you to continue this after today's training. You'll want to pay attention to the clues as we go through. You'll start to think more about things that bring you joy. So jot those down as we go through the rest of the webinar and the next ones as well. So remember, this isn't a test, so you don't have to, nobody's measuring it. There's no pass or fail. And it doesn't have to be really deep things. It can be. It could be things that you've gained insight on. But it could be just some simple things that make you feel happy. A baby's giggle, Think about what made you smile or laugh yesterday. What kinds of things did you do in your childhood as a teenager? Things that you could do now that would bring you joy. What are your hobbies? How do you like to spend time with your family or your friends? So on that page 1, write down 3, 4, or maybe even 5 or 6 things right now. And you can add to that list after the training's done, but just get a start on it. So I'm going to give you a few moments to do that, and I will go back to the list that I had up previously, so you've got some ideas if you need to get some ideas on that. And remember, the list is yours, so there is no right and wrong. And we'll just give you a few moments, and the point is to write down things that bring you joy. And again, it's that sense of peace and that makes you feel happy. And you'll notice on page 2, there's a little key there that you can add in on your list, whether it costs you money, whether you do it with somebody else or you do it alone. Have you done it in the last 5 years? So there is a key there. You can follow that along on your own and fill in that joy list. So I'll just give you a few seconds now to write down some things on that list. Okay, welcome back. So how was that for you? Take a look at your list. Did you manage to get 5 things? Anyone get 6 or 7 or 10? It may seem like a simple exercise. It is very important to not underestimate the power of this exercise and how dramatically it can change your life. It has enormous value, and it is one of the keys to unlocking your purpose. When you know what makes you happy, you are closer to getting clarity on your purpose and your passions and your life. Another step to take to get closer is coming up with what is called the life purpose statement. Some people refer to life purpose statements as personal mission statements. Here are some examples of the life purpose statements of some famous people. Thomas Edison. To create inventions that people needed, that people would pay for, and that would be profitable. This mission statement helped guide him in making decisions. If a project didn't meet all 3 criteria, he didn't do it. Period. So it doesn't matter whether these are called life purpose statements or mission statements. Sometimes some of these ones look a little like goals, but they are guiding statements, a life purpose or a mission statement to help people know what they are about, what they want to do, what is important to them, and then they can make the decisions to create the life that they love doing those things. So whether it's a mission statement or life purpose statement, both of them will guide you to make the decisions in your life and using them to start creating your thoughts and energy about what your life is about and how you can discover what brings you joy and fulfillment. Some of these examples are more specific to work or career, but they will give you an idea of how getting specific can help you find that shortcut to success. So we also have John F. Kennedy. One of his mission statements, life purpose statements, was to put a man on the moon in this decade. And he set that in the early 60s, and by the end of that decade, he certainly had a man on the moon. I didn't know how he was going to do it, and yet they found a way to get it done. Jack Canfield, one of my mentors and teacher who's helped me with this program, is to inspire and empower people to live their highest vision in a context of love and joy for the highest good of all concerned. Well, his is a little less career-oriented. It is a bigger picture mission and life purpose. It still offers the same value and a really good example. It is something that he uses to keep him on course and to make decisions. He gets offered lots of different opportunities, so he needs to be able to have something that can help him make a decision on what he's going to do next. When an opportunity or request comes up, he can measure it against his mission or life purpose statement. And if it's something that will inspire and empower people to live their highest vision in a context of love and joy, he will most likely say yes or find a way to help out or make a referral. But if it doesn't fit that, he says no. And he's very clear about that. So my purpose is using my creativity and intuition to inspire and guide others to intentionally create a world of peace, hope, joy, and love. And just a few other examples. I just want to make sure that you've got lots of examples to think about before we put these together. So these are taken from the 10th anniversary edition of the Success Principles, which is written by Jack Canfield and co-authored by Janet Switzer. So a recovery coach and author has a life purpose of to use my humor and creativity and knowledge to inspire, uplift, and empower people in recovery to stay sober. A contractor and home builder says to live every day to the fullest and give back as much as possible while appreciating someone special every day. Doesn't that sound wonderful? You might be wondering how a life purpose differs from goals. Your life purpose is your why, the reason you do what you do. It's the reasons you want the results that you're looking for. Maybe it's better health, maybe it's a new home, a new car, more money, a different job, more free time, some freedom, vacations, time with family, whatever it is. It's why. Your life purpose is a why you're going to do what you're doing so that you can get those results. The goals and the strategies are the what and the how. One thing that stumps people and holds them back from living a fulfilled life is that they get attached to only one outcome, or they think there's only one thing to do to fill their life purpose. So, for example, someone who loved a sport, maybe it's hockey, when they were growing up, they might have thought they could never earn a living doing what they love because they aren't a professional hockey player and likely wouldn't be. And this is where it gets really exciting. They don't have to be on the ice, skating, and scoring to live their purpose and passions in hockey. They could be a coach, a trainer, or a manager. They could be a sports writer, a commentator, or a journalist. They could be a statistician. They could be a team bus driver, a physiotherapist, or a team doctor. The possibilities are only limited by their imagination. The important and life-changing part to really keep in mind is that when you get clear on what brings you joy and what is your purpose. The next steps are looking at more of the details on how to start to do the things in your life that are aligned with your purpose. Today, I'll walk you through a one-page activity sheet to help you get a step closer to getting really clear on your life purpose. If you haven't already done so, click on the button below for your activity guide for this training video and go to page 2. We're going to talk about the life purpose statement. So the first thing you will do on this page is fill out what is 2 unique personal qualities you have. Something like enthusiasm and creativity. These unique qualities are things that you're good at, that you feel confident doing, that you love, things that are just easy to you. You might think about some of the compliments that you would hear from your friends or families or your colleagues. Some people maybe say you're very creative, you're a great listener, you have great insight, you really know how to lead a team. The things I would put down for me is creative and intuitive. So I'll just give you a few seconds to put down 2 things. Good. That's good. The second step is to list 1 or 2 ways that you enjoy expressing those qualities when interacting with others, such as supporting or inspiring, motivating, uplifting. It might be teaching, leading, creating, motivating. My 2 things would be inspire and to create. So again, these are things that ways that you enjoy expressing. So if you did say, let's go back to hockey, it might be coaching, it might be the doing the statistics, creating things. It could be empowering. It could be leading them. It could be writing about them, promoting them. But it's how you interact with other people when you're expressing those qualities. What is it that you do? Think back to those compliments, whether you're a great listener or you have insight and how you express that. So I'll give you another few seconds to come up with those 2 things. So again, enjoy expressing those qualities when interacting with others. A couple of words. Good, good. So we'll move on to the third step. So the third step is to describe what you see as your ideal world. And this is the part of Jack's statement that's about harmony, joy, and love. It could be hope, peace, calm, friendship, etc., anything like that. Mine would be peace, hope, joy, and love. Just thinking maybe I should add some gratitude to that. I would love to see, in the ideal world, people would be grateful for everything they have, and they'd also be grateful for everything everyone else has. So close your eyes for just a few seconds and just imagine that perfect world. If it was ideal, what would it look like? What are people doing? How are they treating each other? How do you feel? So now, open your eyes and capture 3 to 6 words, maybe that describe about 3 to 6 words, could be more, that describe the ideal world, and write them under step number 3 there on your page. You can add and you can edit after the webinar if you want to make some changes. This is a good starting point, and we're going a little quick. You might want to spend a few more minutes looking at this on your own. Just get something down there that came to mind when you were visioning that ideal world and what people were doing and feeling and how they were treating each other. And then we're going to put it all together. What you're going to do is take the 2 words from number 1 and number 2 and the words in number 3 and put them into a paragraph and a bit of a statement. So see if you can get them into one statement, and then write that in space number 4 there. So, for example, my purpose was to use my creativity and intuition to help people intentionally create a life full of peace, hope, joy, and love. So my purpose is using my creativity and intuition to inspire and guide others to intentionally create a world of peace, hope, joy, and love. So I'll give you a few extra seconds this time to put those first 2 words that you have in step number 1 combined with the 2 words you have in step number 2, and then that picture of that ideal life in step number 3, and put it all together in a beautiful purpose statement. And if you have a chance in the Facebook comments below, if you want to share your purpose statement, that would be absolutely wonderful. So go ahead and start. So, welcome back. I hope you had time to start drafting that statement. Certainly take some time after the webinar and finish it off, and you'll be amazed at what a wonderful feeling it is to know that that's the direction you're headed. So congratulations and good work. Now, here are some tips on making this valuable and very meaningful. It's very helpful and can help train your brain. If you read your life purpose every morning, then close your eyes and visualize what it's like when you are living that purpose. Create as vivid a picture as possible. Include all senses. What are people doing? What are they saying? What do you smell? Are you tasting anything? What are you touching? What are you holding? Who are you embracing? What are you embracing? What are you creating? And the cherry on top is, how are you feeling? When you add feeling to all of this, it's like setting the rocket off. You're just going to really accelerate that success and bringing those things into your life and getting that clarity. So put your attention on your heart and really feel what it's like to live your life on purpose. Now, this is one of the beautiful pieces of being 100% responsible for your life. You are creating the life you want, and you can create your life of purpose. Taking this responsibility can shake off a lot of bad habits and quantum leap you to success. So if you have any questions on that, put your questions in the Facebook comments below, or pop me an email at lornascott@acceleratedsuccessconsulting.ca, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Or you can go to my Facebook page, Accelerated Success Consulting, and ask a question in the comment box there as well, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So now that we have an idea of where we're headed with our life purpose, the next step is to get even more clear. And it really is about deciding what you want. What I'm talking about is more than the material success and the basic things like housing and cars and food and vacations. It's about what do you really want in your life that will make you happy. It's about bringing joy and gratitude. And it's about what is already in your life that makes you happy. Taking this information and using it as clues to get that clear vision for your life. And I'm talking about your whole life. I want you to dream big. You're dreaming anyway, so you may as well dream big. So here are just some ideas to consider. What are some of the things you want to accomplish? Do you want to climb a mountain? Do you want to learn to play an instrument? Learn a second language? What do you want to own? What is your perfect house? What would be the ideal car? Do you want to have a beach house? Do you want to own a house? What is it that you want to own? Who do you want to hang out with? Are you happy with the people you're hanging out with? Who would uplift you? Who are the positive people in your life? Would you like to hang out with the movie stars? Maybe not. Not everyone does. But if you wanted to be a movie star, that's likely who you'd want to hang out with. If you want to hang out with parents because you've got young children and you want to see what other successful parents do, then that might be who you want to hang out with. So that's part of the clue. Maybe you want to have an impact in a child's life and it's a teacher that you want to be. So you want to accomplish that education degree. And so then you might want to hang out with teachers to really get an idea of what that job's about and the impact you can have. And who would be a mentor? Who is someone you can look up to? Now, I have lots of mentors and some that I meet in person. And we don't even have a formal mentorship relationship. I just ask them questions and we have conversations, and that helps me with my business and my life. And I also have some mentors that are maybe at an arm's reach, like Jack Canfield and Janet Bray Atwood. I've taken training from them. I love their programs. I'm in contact with them. I don't have a regular mentorship schedule with them, but I admire them. I look up to them, and I carefully consider anything that they're offering. And I also know to connect with them if I need a hand. What would your perfect health look like? Do you need to quit smoking, lose weight, exercise more, eat better? What would your perfect health feel like? What kind of energy would you have? Would you be vivacious? Would you be able to keep up with the grandchildren or your children? Would you be able to do more at work and at play if you had better health? And what is your ideal life? What is that whole balance of work and accomplishments and fun and recreation? Who you're hanging out with, that family, the mentorship. What does that whole ideal life look like? And what does it feel like? So think, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? What do you want to have? When you have reached the success you are looking for, what does it look like? When you were born, there were no preconceived notions and there was no roadmap that you were obligated to follow. You were shaped by your experiences growing up and influenced by family, school, friends, sports, arts groups, community groups, other people in your life, really anyone and anywhere where you spent time. Much of the influence people received growing up was given with sincere belief that it was for your own good, that it was best, whatever it was. For most people, it wasn't truly what they loved to do. They might have been told their passions were stupid. They might have even heard things. Maybe you even heard this from somebody in your life when you were growing up. You'll never make any money doing that. Don't touch. Don't do that. You can't do that. You shouldn't feel that way. I wish you were different. Your life isn't that hard. Get a job, a good pension, and you'll have a good life. Don't get pulled down the wrong path. Those friends aren't good for you. What happened is that all of these statements put little messages into their brains, and they started to believe them. And the more they believed what wasn't really true, the less they felt alive. They started to feel like they barely existed. They were overwhelmed in drudgery. There was no joy, and they passed their joyless, sad life on to everyone around them. They become numb and out of touch with who they were and what they wanted. And when asked, "What do you want out of life?" they'd say, "I don't know. Just make it through." They didn't know that the answer to that question mattered. They didn't know that they mattered. The truth is, you can have a great life doing what you love. It might not be exactly what you think it will be right at this time. That's why I'm sharing this information in this training video. It's so you can start moving your life into one that is passionate, joyful, fulfilling, and doing what you love. There is no mistake that you love what you love. So how do you rediscover what you love? How do you really know what brings you joy? And we've talked about the joy list, so you're closer to what that is. When people are off track, it's mostly because of their habits. Habits can be changed. One habit to think about changing is to not just settle for what you have. Be grateful for what you have, acknowledge what you have. But you don't have to just settle. You can have more, and you deserve more. You deserve to be happy every morning. Just jump out of bed, happy to be alive. You can send back that burnt meal at a restaurant. You can ask to sit in a certain seat in the theater or at an event. You can say, "No, I can't make it that day." Don't settle. Don't let other people take over your life. Ask for what you want. You won't always get it, that's true. What will start to happen is that you will start to have more and more thoughts that increase your confidence and belief that you can have your desires and deserve them. One of my favorite sayings is that if you never ask, the answer is always no. So if I ask, I might, and quite often, get a yes. Change the habit. Don't settle. You must know what you want. Be really clear about what you want before you know what steps to take it. It's easy to get pulled in a number of directions, and you can get dizzy trying to keep up. There are many people who put the needs of others ahead of themselves, and I'm one of them. That is something I'm getting better every day, and now I can do this work, and I've been able to come up with some other seminars and offer workshops and coaching and do what I love and have the freedom. I still have to be careful because I am a person who likes to help others. That is really part of my purpose. I have to be careful that I'm still doing what I love and I'm not helping others at my own expense. And that happens so much for people is they want to help others, or they commit to doing things and then they're not able to look after themselves. It is just a habit. And really, again, you can love what you do. When the path is clear, it's easier to know what to do and to start those new habits. So there's some exercises you can do at home to start knowing what it is you truly desire. Now that we have that purpose and starting on that path, we want to get another level of clarity. And we're going to be doing an exercise in just a few minutes. In the live workshop and in the online training modules, you will do a number of exercises in different ways to help you dig past the barriers that your subconscious has put in the way. With the amount of time I have on this webinar, I can't take you through all of that. What I can do is give you some ideas on how to get started and to start chipping away at the barrier to the subconscious, which is where your treasure chest of your desires and wants resides. So remember, there are ideas of which you can do after the webinar. You can make an I want list. So kind of like the joy list, write down 30 things that you want to be, do, or have. For example, I want to go bungee jumping. I want to be a golfer. I want to have a new car. Another thing you can do is make a 20 things I love to do list. What stops a lot of people from living a life of their dreams is that they don't think they can make a living doing what they love. I don't mean that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur or run their own business or do workshops or seminars. What I want you to know is that whether you are in business for yourself or working for someone else, you can get paid for doing what you love to do. Not what you were told to do, not what you were expected to do, not where you landed, and again, you don't have to settle. You can get paid to do what you love to do. Fuzzy thinking gets fuzzy results. What I want for you is to get really clear about what you want. I will be taking you through the steps in this entire process. For now, the only thing that you need to worry about is deciding what you want. It's time to look at what you really dream about. So I want you to think about if you could have anything in your life, anything you wanted. If you had your perfect life, what would it look like? And what would it be 3 years from now? The first thing many people say is, I don't know. I don't know what I want tomorrow. How can I know what I want in 3 years? So don't worry. I'm going to help you get a kickstart in filling the spaces of your vision and getting those pieces together. I do want you to think about dreaming big. Really use your imagination. Don't let anything hold you back. When people do this, sometimes they have thoughts of limiting beliefs. They stop themselves from thinking those dreams and from considering them because they get bogged down with how that's going to happen. They can't see it. They think it's impossible. And so they stop the big dream. This isn't a time to do that. This is a time, go for it. Just as big, flashy, whatever it is you're dreaming of, I want you to think about that while we go through this exercise. So what I'm going to show you today, along with some of the other steps in this process in another video, will give you the direction and the strategies to make these big dreams come true. General Wesley Clark, the former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO forces in Europe, said it doesn't take any more energy to create a big dream than it does to create a small dream. So you have permission today to use your imagination and go for it. Dream big. So now I'm going to take you through that exercise and we're going to start seeing your dream. We're going to see that perfect life. So we're going to cover all areas of your life. And it's important to look at every piece of your life and what it could look like in 3 years, what you would envision that perfect life in 3 years. So there are 7 areas of your life that we're going to look at, and they are financial, your job and career, free time, recreation time, your body and physical health, relationships, personal, and contribution. So again, those are financial. Those are your financial goals, what you want for savings, investments, annual income, your job or career, what you see yourself doing, what brings you the most joy and you feel that you make a difference. Your free time, recreation time, those are for hobbies, sports, amateur sports. Time with family can fit in there as well. Your body and physical health, that's all about your health, what you eat, your activity level, spiritual, meditation, all those things. Relationships, that can be family, friends, your supportive environment. Personal is things that you like for your own personal time and area, I guess. So it's about, what books do you want to read? Do you want to travel? What do you want to learn? Are there courses you want to take? Those kinds of things. And contribution is what you give back to your community. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to have you close your eyes, and you'll have about 30 seconds to come up with a picture in your mind of your ideal life in those 7 areas. We're going to work through them one at a time. So I will ask you to close your eyes. I'll give you that time to think of getting a really vivid picture. I'll ask you to open your eyes and write it down, just a few words, and then we'll go into the next area of that life vision. And this will start getting that whole picture started. Remember, we talked about the thoughts, so this is starting to get those thoughts in place. So Napoleon Hill, who is one of the early transformational leaders, says, "You can be anything you want to be, if only you believe with sufficient conviction and act in accordance with your faith, for whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve." So we're into the conceiving spot now. So let's see what you can conceive. So when we do this, it helps to be in a calm state and relaxed when wanting to access the subconscious. And that's really where many of your true dreams and desires live. We've just pushed them back as we've gone through life. I'm going to guide you through this and help you to get calm space with some breathing techniques and some music. I will guide you and give you suggestions on examples of things you could include in your vision. You're going to have about 30 seconds to get that picture as clear as possible in your mind, so it really is an instant reaction. Don't worry or pay attention to any of the thoughts that say you can't do this or wonder how that picture is going to happen. Just push those away. Once you get the picture in your mind, it will do everything it can for you to achieve that vision. You will have some time to write down some words about your vision after each section. So capture as much of the vision as possible in the time you have. You can always do this exercise again after the webinar when there is more time. So let's get into it. We're going to set some quiet time and set this place to be quiet. So if you need to turn off any distractions or anything in your house, that would be great. Maybe going into a room on your own would help as well. And I'm going to ask you in a moment to close your eyes. We're going to do some breathing, and then I'm going to guide you through those areas. So first, let's start by closing your eyes and just get comfortable, whether you're sitting or lying down. Just get so comfortable as you can. Take a deep breath, hold it in for a moment, and release it. Take another deep breath and imagine breathing in calm and peace. Breathe out, imagining breathing out all your stress and worry. Take another big breath in, all the way to your toes. Imagine bringing in more peace and calm, and release the breath, all the air, imagining all the stress and tension is gone from your body, and you are now more and more relaxed. Continue breathing normally. Now, put your awareness on your heart and imagine that you are breathing in and out of your heart. Keep breathing through your heart. Now pretend it is 3 years from now. I want you to focus on the financial area of your life. What is your ideal annual income and cash flow? How much money do you have in savings? What is your total net worth? What does your house look like? What country are you living in? What kind of car would you drive? Okay, open your eyes and go to page 3 and write down a couple of thoughts about your financial vision, about that annual income, what your investments would be, what your savings account would be, those kinds of things. Whatever your financial vision is. Okay, close your eyes again. Next is your job and career. What kind of work do you like to do? What career would you love to do? What would that salary be? What are your coworkers like? Who are you becoming? Who are you being in that ideal job and career? I'll give you a few seconds to think about that. 3 years from now, what would your ideal career or job be? Okay, open your eyes again and go back to your page and write down a couple of thoughts about your job and your career and vision. Okay, close your eyes again. Take a deep breath in through your heart and out again. And we're going to think about your free time and recreation time. Do you have any hobbies? What ones do you like? What do you do for fun? What kinds of things do you like to do with your friends and your family? What do you do in all this free time you have now, 3 years later? I'll give you a few seconds to come up with that picture about your perfect life 3 years from now in the area of free time and recreation. Okay, open your eyes, go back to your page and write down a couple of thoughts about your fun time and recreation vision. Okay, close your eyes again. Take a deep breath in through your heart and blow it out. So now I want you to close your eyes. And what is the vision of your physical health and body? What is your energy level like? Are you free from pain? Are you enjoying eating healthy foods? Are you enjoying working out or doing some other healthy activities? What, 3 years from now, is your vision of your perfect physical health and body? Okay, take a moment and go back to your page and write down a couple of your thoughts about your vision of your perfect physical health and body 3 years from now. Okay, open your eyes and go back to your page and write down a couple of thoughts about your vision of your perfect physical health and body. Oh, we just did that. Yes, sorry. Okay. All right, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Now think about your relationships 3 years from now. What are those ideal relationships like with your friends, with your spouse, with your boyfriend or girlfriend, children, grandchildren, parents, co-workers, teammates, community groups? And how do these relationships support you and what you want to do? Who do you surround with the most? Who is uplifting you? Think about those relationships that you will have in 3 years in that ideal life. Okay, open your eyes. Go back to your page and write down a couple of your thoughts about your visions of your relationships and what you came up with that ideal picture. Okay, close your eyes again and take a deep breath. We're going to get that ideal picture again. Remember as many details as you can. So next, I want you to think about the things you want to be, do, and have. The personal part of your life. What are some of the things you'd like to learn? Would you like to take a course in something, like learn another language? Do you have a goal of some kind, like run a marathon or win an award? Do you attend personal growth seminars? What is your spiritual practice? Is there anything you'd like to learn more about that? Would you like to travel, read books? Whatever it is in your personal life, that is what I want you to think about now. 3 years from now, what are you doing for your own personal enjoyment and value that is going to make that an ideal vision 3 years from now? Okay, open your eyes and go back to your page and write down a couple of the thoughts about your personal vision, what it would be like in 3 years. Okay, open your eyes. And, well, we're going to close our eyes and take a deep breath. And we're going to look at the vision of your ideal community. What are the things that are happening there? In your community, what are the activities you like to take part in? Where can you help out in your community and give back to your community? What can you do to make your community a better place for you and for the other people who live there? So in your vision 3 years from now, what does that look like? Okay, open your eyes and take a look at your paper and write down a few things that came to mind about the vision of that ideal community. What is your vision 3 years from now for the community you want to be living in and involved in? Okay, let's take a look at what you've put down in each area. Now, what does that look like 3 years from now? Those vision, what you see your life could be like if it all was to unfold the way that you want it to. Now, I encourage you to take this one step further, and after the webinar, write a 1 to 2 page story just describing, like a narrative story, describing what that 3-year vision is with all those 7 areas. Really get a clear picture so that if someone came in and read it, they would be able to get a clear picture of the world that you are looking and visioning. You want to include all the details, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what you're hearing, what are the conversations, what are people talking about? And get as detailed as possible. Include colors, and most importantly, include feelings. Feelings are the dynamite to this process. They just accelerate everything. It will really jumpstart your path to success. And I know we went through this fairly quickly, but it really doesn't have to be much more in depth than that to just get going and get that vision. And we'll talk later in the next video about some of the visualization and what else we can do with that. But this is a really good exercise, and you can do it again at home to just go through with some quiet time, be calm, maybe some soft music to really get a good picture of those 7 areas and what you see 3 years down the road, what you'd love for it to be like. Now, there are years of research about how the brain thinks in images and not words. And that's why the pictures are really important. That's why you can remember faces and not names. I'm sure you've had that experience where you go, gee, that face is familiar, but I don't remember where. I don't remember the name. And I'll spend more time in the next video talking about the power of creating images in your mind and how that can help you accelerate your success and really get in alignment with that purpose and how things are attracted to you when you have those images. There's some real incredible success stories. Now, there are a couple of important points to go over before I wrap up this training session. So a very quick review so far. You know you're in charge of your life. You know you can create it with your thoughts, and that clarity takes you closer to achieving your success and your dreams. The next training session will be about how to put all this into action. So you can think of what we've done in the last 2 training sessions, last one and this one, as creating the blueprint to your success. The next session will be the start of the actual roadmap. Before we move to the roadmap, I want to talk to you about a couple of obstacles that other people have encountered between this step that we're at and the one we're going to go to in the next webinar. Those obstacles center around beliefs, believing it's possible and believing in themselves. When you attend the live workshop, I will introduce you to multiple activities and strategies to help you find these obstacles. Many of them are hidden and you don't even know them. And I'll also work with you to overcome and blast through these obstacles so you never have to be held back again because of them. There's not time to go into these in depth in this training, and it's more effective in person. I will do my best to get you started with a few tips in this training. So we want to believe it's possible, and it's absolutely essential you believe in yourself. And again, Napoleon Hill gives us a perfect quote: "You can be anything you want to be if you only believe with sufficient conviction and act in accordance with your faith, for whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve." So we've already worked with that conceiving, with that visualization and getting that 3-year vision and the joy list. And we're going to talk a little bit, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about believing, so that in the next video we're going to talk about achieving. So let's get into the believing. So learning to believe it's possible is absolutely necessary for you to accelerate your success and really get into those shortcuts. Changing your thinking, as you've heard in the first training video, is one of the first steps to believing in yourself. Exchanging your negative thoughts for positive ones is what retrains your brain to expect those good thoughts to turn into positive outcomes for you. They will help you get everything you desire. There are researchers who have discovered that as we go through life, we become conditioned by what happens to us. We learn to expect certain things, and that kickstarts the brain to plan the next steps. We end up achieving whatever the brain is thinking about. It's something like the old saying, in the negative side, be careful what you wish for, it might just come true. And many people have had that experience where they thought they really wanted something and that's what they concentrated on, and it really didn't work out so good for them. It's really important to be clear about your thoughts. Give yourself good ones. On the positive side, it is also this conditioning that has led to something called the placebo effect, where people get healthy because they believe they are taking real medication when they're actually taking a substitute pill that has no medication in it. There's been reams of research done on this exact topic that supports the theory that in many cases, believing in getting better had more impact on recovery than did medical treatment. When you start to think positive thoughts, it programs your brain to expect, and then it takes the next steps into creating whatever you are thinking about. Do this until it becomes a habit. Think those positive thoughts. It is really a habit. That's all it is, and you can change it. So believing in yourself is foundational to creating the life you want. You must feel capable and confident that you can accomplish anything it takes to reach your goal and ideal life. Some people will call this self-esteem, others call it self-confidence. It doesn't matter what you choose to call it. What is important is that you know that you can believe in yourself, and it's as easy as making it that habit. You work at it every day, and your attitude will change over time. In the book, The Success Principles, Jack Canfield tells us, It might help you to know that the latest brain research now indicates that with enough positive self-talk and positive visualization combined with the proper training, coaching, and practice, anyone can learn how to do almost anything. Here's how it works in your life. Whatever you were dreaming about, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want or want to become, if you believe it's possible and believe that you will accomplish it, you will take the steps to do everything you can to do it. That's just human nature. That's how your brain works. And it's that simple. Practice believing. Just practice until it's a habit, and then it'll be an attitude. Believing in yourself is a choice. It's your choice. Some things to work on when you're practicing is to take I can't out of your vocabulary. You can replace it with I choose. Example, instead of saying I can't afford this shirt, you say I'm choosing to not buy this shirt right now. Saying I can't puts your whole body in a state of weakness. It's never too late to start. There are many stories about people in their 70s and 80s doing remarkable things for the first time. You are never too old. Don't assume you need a college or university degree. You can gain the knowledge and skills you need through training and courses, even through mentoring with someone else. We've covered a lot today. We've talked about purpose, clarity, and believing. Believing what we want is possible, and believing in our own abilities and knowledge, our self-confidence, and that we can do it. So to wrap up, you'll agree that what you learned today will help you gain, or has already helped you gain deeper insight into who you are and what you want. You did some exercise to get clear on your purpose and your vision of your future. I encourage you to do these another 1 or 2 times so you can really zone in and have a clear picture and images about what your ideal life will be like in 3 years. The cornerstone to today's training is believing. Believing it's possible and believing you can do it. In the next video, I'll walk you through simple steps, some tips and strategies to take all of this information and put it into action. I've shared a ton of information, and stopping now will cause to lose momentum and go back to the life you don't want. So make sure you watch the next video when it's released. With all this information and a couple of hot tips I shared today, I know you'll find it valuable. You're going to use it wisely. And using the handout and these exercises will be helpful for you to retain a lot more information. Remember what I said, writing down your notes, just even the act of writing down helps you retain the information more. I gave you all I could in the time we had today. You've received the core information about life purpose, vision, and believing. And I go deeper into these foundational concepts in my live workshop and online course. Digging deep into your life purpose, ideal vision, and believing in yourself gives you huge leaps to creating a monumental, huge shift in your life and living the life of your dreams. Thank you for hanging in there and for watching this webinar, and thank you so much for participating in the exercises. I know you will find value and you will start to look at things. You likely have already started to look at things differently. And I want to be here to support you and to help you carry on with this path that you're on and find this new journey and new life. So, if you've found that the webinar's made a difference, I'd really like you to click that like button. Everybody likes the Facebook likes, and leave a comment or question in the boxes below. Share the webinar link with your friends. I'd love to be able to spread my message even more. That's my life purpose. And keep an eye in your inbox in the next few days for the next video. And, what I'd really like for you to do is to tell me either in the comment below or go to my Facebook page, Accelerated Success Consulting, and let me know which of the activities had the most impact on your life so far. I have to admit, I get all warm inside, and, I really love hearing about how this is making you feel more happy and joyful, and believing that your life is going to get even better. So please scroll down, click the like, and leave some of the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you. Again, watch your inbox for the next video in the next few days. May you find peace, joy, hope, and love in every day. Cheers to your success. See you soon.